Throughout the evening, it will be about half an hour, 40 minutes or so throughout the evening. If questions pop up, please feel free to pop them in the chat. It may be we get to the answer as part of the slides we're sharing. It may be at the end we come over to those and answer specific things that you may have in mind. And so without further ado, let me begin. Firstly, thank you very much indeed for choosing Lakeside. I said to you guys at the open mornings and the events that were building up to all of this back in the autumn that you should pick a school predominantly through how you feel about it. Can you picture your little 3-4-year-old as one of our 9, 10, 11-year-olds a few years down the line? And is that what you want for your child? And we're ever so grateful and always privileged to think that you could see that within us and within our school. And we can't wait to start the journey with you and with your little ones. As the agenda sets out here, we're going to introduce you to some of the team, go back over some of the key information about our school. It will start to become a lot more specific and relevant now that we're on the journey. We're going to look at what the first few weeks at school look like. We'll talk a bit about what being school ready means and how you can help prepare your child for September. We'll have a brief look at some of the things we're going to learn in our Lakeside curriculum and then some top tips and things to remember before we finish a bit later. So here we go. Here is your team in terms of your teaching team for next year. So Mrs. Francis is one of our established teachers at Lakeside, been with us for a couple of years now, has been in reception this year working alongside Mrs. Townsley, the teaching partner, and is already ever so excited about starting again and meeting your guys and getting up and running with them. Did you want to say a quick hello, Mrs. Francis?
That's if my mic's working. Is it working?
It is. You're right.
All right. Yes. Hello, everyone. And yeah, I am really excited.
Fab. Mrs. Francis will dip in a bit later and help me with some more reception specific stuff in terms of what she's teaching down there. We're also excited to move Miss Bingham, who is a wonderful year 2 teacher with us at Lakeside. But every time I speak to her about what her future at Lakeside looks like, she always drops in reception. And so this year we're making the move to start her down in reception with your little ones in September. Miss Bingham, do you want to say hello? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello. So as Mr. Moss rightly said, I'm in year 2 at the moment, but I think in my heart, I've always been a reception lady. So I'm very excited to join Mrs. Francis down there next year. So welcome, everyone.
Thank you very much, Miss Bingham. And she'll be joined by Mrs. Reese, who's been one of our teaching partners down in reception for a couple of years. We also have with us this evening our Chair of Governors, Isabel Rutt, who wanted to pop in. And if we were going to be face-to-face, she was going to come and say hello, introduce herself with a couple of the governors. But Isabel, do you want to say good evening?
Hello, everybody. Yes, I really would like to say good evening. I'm really sorry we can't meet in person, and I know we've got events throughout the year, so we'll get to see each other. I just wanted to introduce myself, and perhaps especially if your little one coming to school in September, it's the first time. Some of you may be well experienced with children starting in reception, but if you're not, you may have heard of the governing body and may just want to have a little heads up of who we are. So yes, I'm Isabel. I'm the Chair of Governors. I've been a governor at Lakeside for about 5 years now, but this is my first year as the chair. And really, we're a team of governors, a board, as they call us. And our role is to support and challenge the school. And really, right at the heart of that is to ensure that every child, and that includes your child, receives the very best education and opportunities. Some of the things that we do, we have lots of meetings, we ensure all things are compliant, but one of the most enjoyable things that we do is we spend quite a lot of time in school as well. We come and talk to the teachers, the staff, parents, the children, and it's I know that the school places a real focus on academic achievement, but also what we're really pleased to know is that there is such a focus on well-being, the inclusion. The children are a delight. They're full of confidence. They're very helpful, and they just appear happy and kind. So we're really happy as governors to be able to have a good feel of how the school is as a whole. And I just know as well that we've got a very committed team of teachers and support staff and everybody who's involved in their education, where the children do feel very valued very safe, and I'm sure you're all very excited now to get ready for them to start to join us in September. Hopefully we'll get to see each other face to face and come up and say hello. We're often there on parents' evenings and those sorts of, you know, a higher profile event when there are parents in the school. So if you see us, we have our black and white lanyard. Come up, come and say hello, and we're more than happy to have a chat with you. Thanks, John.
Amazing, thank you as well. You can come to my open events in the future. Lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, so there's the team. They're the people who'll be working with you. Shortly, we're going to split the children up into a couple of classes. One will be RF and one will be RB. We always use the teachers' surnames to identify the classes. Always gets confusing when they have surnames that start with the same initial, but you've got away with that in reception. Headline to share with you at this stage, we're not full next year. The birth rate's so low across Cheltenham, the country really, but Cheltenham Hatherley in particular doesn't see lots of new families moving in. So you'll be in classes of around 24, we think, next year, 25. Which is always lovely for you guys in terms of that slightly smaller, slightly more personal experience. And we'll get on to that in a bit around how we're going to divide those classes up. So in terms of where we move from here, everything at Lakeside begins with our vision and our values. It's really simple. What we want for your child is that we're able to motivate that mind, nurture all of their potential and inspire confidence in them. I hope one of the reasons you've picked us is that idea that we genuinely believe in a child's full potential. We're not an exams factory. We take our statutory responsibilities and our core subjects really seriously. And we're just starting to receive some of our data through already, things like our phonics screening check that we've been doing. And we always perform super well in that data, but we're more than that. We want amazing choirs. We want amazing sports teams. We want wonderful engineers. And we want to really inspire the children in their fullest potential and really work out who they could be as they finish their journey with us and move to secondary school. And that begins right now, right at the very beginning. How we do that is through a strong set of values. Polite, well-mannered and respectful. We always talk about why would you want your child to be anything but that. We're open with children from the get-go, that you're allowed to make mistakes at Lakeside, but what we ask is that you're resilient to those mistakes by being open-minded to new ideas and ways of working. Understanding and accepting of others is just, to me, it always just means kindness. Let's instill kindness in Lakeside pupils, staff, families, and respect and be kind to one another. And then determined to be the best we can be is about that individual journey. Someone will be better at your child than spelling. Someone will be better than your child at art. Someone will be better than your child at music. We can't all be the very best at everything, but what we can all be is the very best version of ourselves. And that's what we're always looking for, is to support the children be that best version of them. And how can we nurture that through them? Ofsted visited our school last spring, and this is a happy, welcoming and inclusive school, and the school's proud values such as politeness, resilience and determination are woven through all that the school does. I was frankly, as a head teacher, delighted with that line being written about our school, because it's something we genuinely believe. You'll have visited us, you'll have seen the proud values plastered on walls around the school. Those of you with older siblings will have proud certificates that come home, and it means we even sing Proud by Heather Small on Friday in assembly. So we want to go at it and make sure that we live these values for your child. Let's jump in then to where we're at and what's happening over the next few weeks as we build towards September. Over the last few weeks, I've been out to about 2/3 of our preschools and nurseries already and had phone calls with almost all of them. I like to visit the children, see them in their settings, get a feel for them. I'll continue to do that right up until we break up. I think that helps create that sense of belonging for them at Lakeside. I've already bumped into a couple of our children at things like our school fete last year, our future pupils, and it's always lovely for me that they know who I am, they know what we're all about. From Friday, they're going to start to get to know Miss Bingham and Mrs. Francis, who are going to be there for them as part of that transition. That information we receive from the nursery and the preschools is also helping us think about classes. So then on Friday, you guys are coming in, really excited to welcome you in. You're going to come in 3 tranches, 3 groups throughout the day. Hopefully you've got the letter that explains which group you're in, and we'll just have 15, 16, 17, 18 children in the Young Learners Garden having a play for an hour or so. We'll provide a bit of fruit and some snacks. We'll provide some cold drinks. and a little bit of shade with the marquee, but we're going to get the water play out. We're going to get the sandpit open, the mud kitchen filled up. We're going to get all of the toys out and just let them settle and play. The staff and myself and senior leaders will be going and introducing ourselves to you and to the children and just helping the children feel familiar with the place. Some of the logistics around that in terms of groups were sent out on the letter and were repeated there. And this is a map to help you understand how it all works. So here's our school car park and coming off the Hatherley Road. On Friday, what you need to do is we'll prop this gate open and you're going to make your way down past the main entrance all the way around here to gate number 5. And you're going to come to the back of our school site where the senior leaders will be waiting to bring you all the way around here to the Young Learners Garden, where you'll have your hour or so of play. When we're finished, the senior leaders will take you guys and your kids back out and see you on your way this way. So that is Friday's entrance. Just come round and find us at this gate here. You don't need to come to the main foyer, and it'll be a bit different next week as well. Okay, so that's the first part. Where we then go is transition session number 2. We've started to draw up some class lists. We build 2 class lists. We divide up boys and girls fairly equally. We divide up autumn-born, spring-born and summer-born children fairly equally. We consider if there's any special educational needs and spread those out fairly equally. We consider what we've learned from yourselves and from nurseries around which children might like to go with a peer from their nursery, and we take that into consideration. So there's lots that goes into building those 2 classes, but so does transition session number 1. And so what we're doing is just keeping an eye, talking to you, making sure that we're really happy with the information we've got. And then on Tuesday, the 30th of June, I'll tell you which your teacher is. You'll get a letter emailed to you and you'll find out if you're in RB or RF. And then when you come back on Friday, the 3rd, you'll be greeted by these colleagues and they will help settle you into either session 1 or session 2. Why we can't tell you exactly which one that is because I haven't got the class list and I don't know where that alphabet cutoff is in terms of half the class going to the first session and half the class going to the second. That'll be explained on the Friday letter. Do let us know this Friday if there's any desperate things we need to be made aware of around getting that right for you. In terms of dropping off on that session, it's a bit different. Here's the Hatherley Road again, and we're going to ask you, we're going to open these big wooden gates down a bit further down from our main car park entrance on the Hatherley Road, and you come onto the front playground, which is our reception and year 1 playground, and the team will be waiting for you at the steps here, which look a bit like that. You'll recognise them if you've been to the front playground. They'll be there to greet you. This isn't the stay and play session, so plenty of prep with your child around. We're going to drop you off with your teachers. What will happen is some of them will skip in and they'll forget you're their parent. They'll run in and they'll be ready to have the best time ever, and they're really ready for this. Others of them will find it tricky, and I promise we've done this before. I promise we know exactly what you're going through. Mrs. Francis has done this as a parent. I have done this as a parent, and we will support you in whatever way we need to help your child just get over that threshold and come and spend that morning with us. And again, this Friday, if there's got anything we need to know to make that a smooth transition for you, just let us know. We will have tissues on standby if you need us to have tissues on standby, and we will celebrate it all with you an hour or so later. So that's our transitions for the summer. And then in September, we do a week's worth of transition to build the children in a little bit slower. Now, we've talked about this at the open events. We're a 1-week school. Other schools are 2-week schools, 3-week schools. I know a school in Gloucestershire that does the whole of the first term. I do know some schools that just get the children in from day 1 full time. We like it because it just gives us that chance to get to know your child a little bit more intimately, to get to know our school, to do it in smaller groups, to not be as overwhelmed. I know some children have been in nursery full time and are absolutely ready for this, but equally I know some children aren't attending nurseries, and this will be much easier for them. Lots of research says if you get transition right, you build an incredible foundation. If you get transition wrong, it's really hard to undo that and to build from there. So we just spend this first week trying to get it right. What we mean by that is half the class will come in on Wednesday the 2nd, our first school day of the year, through until Friday the 4th. Doing a morning or an afternoon. If you do the morning, you have your lunch in school with us. That's a packed lunch for those first few days until we've got you on the register and set up with our parent pay system, and which is where you can book your meals. And then from Monday to Wednesday, we switch that round. If you did mornings, you then do afternoons. If you did afternoons, you then did mornings. We'll get all of that written out to you before September. And then from Thursday the 10th, we're in full time. All of those drop-off and pick-up sessions will happen from that main wooden gates that I just showed you on the previous slide. So that's where drop-off and pick-up will be for all of those transition sessions. And then once we're running full-time from Thursday the 10th, there'll be that'll be your drop-off and pick-up points as well. So hopefully some helpful logistics. The school day itself, when we're up and running, we open our gates between 8:30 and 8:35 each morning. The doors open at the ringing of the bell at 8:35. The children head in where there's some morning work for them to do. A typical day would involve some literacy or some maths in the morning, a snack time, playtime, more literacy and maths. Lunchtime, we do a longer lunch for our receptions at the beginning of the year so they can have the hall to themselves and not be overwhelmed by any other parts of other children in the school. And then some theme afternoons. We'll talk a bit more about how we deliver that and what our approach to teaching is in a bit, and then certainly much more in September. So reception itself is a unique year in primary schools. It isn't the national curriculum. We're not teaching reading, writing, maths, geography, history, art, music in the same way we are from year 1 and above. It's all part of the statutory early years framework, which starts in nurseries and preschools and finishes in schools. So we will be teaching those prime areas and those specific areas, which some of you will be familiar with from the reports and the parents' evenings you've had at preschools and nurseries. They are the absolute building blocks, the fundamentals. The team prioritise them in certain orders. Children aren't generally very good at handwriting until they focused on their fine motor skills, for example. Children aren't always great at understanding the world unless they've started to understand themselves and their place within the world and who they are as a person. So there's a really careful approach to how we do this, which again, Mrs. Francis will explain a bit more shortly in terms of our themes, but also in terms of our sort of approach. We don't go too deep into that this evening because in September we invite you to a Meet the Teacher event. All classes are invited to a Meet the Teacher event where we dig much deeper into the curriculum and how we teach it. But it's good for you guys just to get that flavour of what the early years curriculum is and that it isn't the same as elsewhere in the school. Our approach to it is a balance of continuous provision and focused learning. So what that means is there's lots of opportunity to learn through play. There's lots of set up stations and zones where the children can go and have a go at constructing things with Lego, but they may not be doing their writing or their maths in that corner. It may be that we're really focusing on relationships and conflict resolution and sharing, and they're the actual skills we're trying to teach over there. While elsewhere in the classroom, a child might be having a more focused session, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, with a grown-up looking at maths or looking at reading. So their day will be varied. We don't sit children down in reception, do an hour of literacy and only literacy. They get to do some learning through play alongside that. Mrs. Francis, did you want to add anything there?
Yeah, it's just I think I would only add that those different zones are kind of available to the children all the time. So they'll have a little bit of that focused learning throughout the day, but the majority of their learning is through their exploration of the continuous provision. It's all relevant to the learning as well.
Yeah. Fab. You'll be aware and you'll be there on Friday. Our outdoor classroom, we call it the Young Learners Garden, is pretty unique. It's one of my favourite selling points at Lakeside. It was about £90,000 to £100,000 worth of investment about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago now. And these guys go out there every single day. If you're the head teacher that authorised spending that much money, or the chair of governors that authorised that much money on it, you want to see it used. And these guys get your children out there in rain or shine or snow or wind, and really purposeful learning can happen. Think about the gross motor. Think about some of those imaginative games you can play when you're creating a mud pie for your crazy auntie or whatever it is that they're coming up with in their imagination. But every single day, your child will get the chance to go and learn outside at Lakeside. Beyond that, we've got incredible spaces. Our forest school is a brilliant outdoor space. We also have our outdoor classroom. We also have our wetland project where the children can go in our ponds and do pond dipping. If you're going to learn about habitats at Lakeside, you're going to go and find habitats. You're not just going to look at them in books. we've got the sensory garden, if you remember, in the courtyard around year 3 and 4, where if you're going to learn about your senses, you may as well do a barefoot walk and have a sprinkler sprayed on you than just sit and do experiments just in the classroom. So we've got incredible grounds here that we're so proud of. And what I love about my staff is they get the children out and use them as frequently as they can. Pretty awesome. Beyond that, we've got Mr. Hayward and Mrs. Townsley are both qualified balance ability instructors, and they get the children out twice, 2 blocks throughout the year. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mrs. Francis, to do work on the bikes, building that core strength, those gross motor skills. Your child may be able to cycle at some point already or during the school journey, but we can adapt those lessons, get them to bring their own bikes in, and it's just a core part of us developing them as gross motor strong children. Mrs. Francis, jump in.
Yeah, I've just seen the thing says Forest School on it, but never mind.
Oh, yeah.
But we kind of like have a balance. So one term we'll do Forest School, and then the next term we'll do balance ability, and then we'll go back to Forest School. So we'll never be having both at the same time. So it won't be bikes and Forest School kit on the same day. So don't worry about that. But it's really amazing to see the progress that they make every year. And they just absolutely love it, and the training that goes into them using it as well. They really enjoy it every year. It's good.
Fabulous. Right, the themes. We're a thematic school. We're a thematic school because kids love big themes. This continues throughout their journey. So you may recall from open events, our children in year 6 finish by learning all about World War II. Our year 5 children learn about space and the Vikings and refugees. Our year 4 children learn about sustainability and the ancient Egyptians and the ancient Greeks. And we've got these incredible big themes. But that starts right down in reception. So there's 6 short terms throughout an academic year, and these are the 6 key themes that the children will dig into. I asked Mrs. Francis is just going to jump in and tell you a bit more, maybe zoom in on 1 or 2 and tell us the kind of things the children will be up to. But lots more information about these as the year progresses next year.
So yeah, like Mr. Moss said, we will have like a curriculum evening, a meet the teacher meeting where we'll go into a bit more depth on this one. But I think if we just start on that first term, because that's the one that most people need to know about. And it's really just building up that sense of belonging. And Me and My World in autumn, we're learning about understanding the world and the different times of year and ourselves within that. We're learning our new classmates' names. We're learning about the different routines in school, how things change over time. And in that term, we do start our phonics right from the first time you're in three on that 3rd week, I think, for full time. So we'll make sure you have the workshops as early on as we can make them. There's a phonics workshop as well, so you know how to do some phonics reading with your children. And we have a maths workshop as well. I think we have an open thing so you guys can come in and see a maths lesson in progress. But it's really just feeling settled, feeling like you belong at Lakeside, and kindness within the school. So learning those values. So that's that first term. We go on into the second term, and I think my favourite part of this one is that we have our little nativity, which is very, very cute. There's most of the children, if not all of them, have a line. It's very sweet, and they all get up and show their amazing passion and how well they have formed and gelled together as a class. It really shows what they've learned in that short time. We look at Diwali in that time, birthdays, how we celebrate different celebrations, and bonfire night, and it's just really exciting. I think we visit the post office as well, don't we? And send a letter to Santa or somebody else, family. So we can do that too, so that's good. Then we kind of have a bit of an let's explore. In our first spring term, we kind of go into looking about the past, talking to grandparents. We invite grandparents in to come and talk about their experiences of school. We do our own timelines, so the children learn like what they were like from a baby up until now. And we travel the world. We make our role player into a travel agents, and We find out about different places around the globe and beyond the globe. So we do Chinese New Year celebration and a dragon dance around school and taste Chinese traditional foods. It's beautiful and lovely. And then we learn about space and Neil Armstrong, and the children absolutely love it because we have an experience where something called an Explorer Dome, where there's huge, looks like a huge tent, doesn't it, Mr. Moss?
Yeah.
Comes
Like an
into
igloo.
school and shows them different constellations and different things they can learn about space. So it's really exciting, that one. So that's just like the first few terms, and it's just really lovely and exciting and brilliant to be having fun and learning at the same time.
Who likes it more, Mrs. Francis? You or the
I
kids?
don't know. I really enjoy it.
A nice taste there. What each term comes with is a theme map. So posted on our website every half term, you guys have access to, and a letter that comes alongside it. Insight into what your child's learning. We're absolutely key to us, as we'll come on to shortly, is partnership work with you guys. Personal, social, emotional development, communication and language, physical development, mathematics. You can see those key areas of learning, and you can find out the kind of stuff your child's going to be doing, and you can explore that more with them at home. And then a reading road. We share with you all of the books that the teachers are going to explore with the children over the course of that term. Every book is carefully picked to match the theme, and that's something that will continue all the way through your child's journey at Lakeside. Reading and themes are utterly entwined, and the books become an important part of our learning toolkit here at Lakeside. So you'll be always kept up to date with what's happening in terms of your child's learning that way. Okay, jumping on a bit to school readiness. I'll let you have a bit of a read of those things up on the screen, but school readiness is more than just being academic. We love it when I go to nurseries. I love it when I speak to parents and they say they can already read certain things, they can already write certain things, they're recognizing number. All of those things are unbelievably important and helpful along the way. But there are other important things that sit in this EYFS curriculum, early years curriculum, things like your social skills, things like helping your child be separated from you. And these are all little things that you can practice between now and joining us in September. Are your children okay at spending time with family, friends or relatives? Have a play date and spend some time with other children that are in a different environment to the nursery they're used to going to. How are they? Everyone I've spoken to so far is talked at preschools and nurseries about great independence in this cohort, and children who are quite good at knowing when they need to go to the toilet or being able to wash their hands and know the importance of that. But keep rehearsing those things over the summer. School isn't a place for a pacifier or a dummy. One of the key reasons there is we go almost immediately into making speech sounds and into phonics, and those things can have a real detrimental effect on the mouth's ability to create certain shapes and certain sounds. So if you're not already, do some really purposeful work this summer in terms of moving away from that, and talk to us over the coming days and weeks if we can be of any help with direction towards achieving that. Equally, things like walking long distances or being on their feet all day. School is tiring. It doesn't matter if you've been doing nursery full time. I'm yet to meet a child that doesn't ultimately get quite worn out by the time we reach October half term and Christmas in particular. And so building up that strength, building up that stamina in preparation for school in terms of coming out of pushchairs and buggies and walking distances. But also that kind of, I remember this with my little ones when they were younger, is that kind of, my children would stomp their feet and say they want the buggy. And those arguments that you have with them in saying, well, no, you're a big girl, you start in school, you can't go in it. And being willing and ready to have those fun conversations with your little ones is a good bit of advice at this stage. Simple instructions. We don't overwhelm the children with multiple 7, 8, 9, 10 step instructions, but come and sit on the carpet, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We do a lot of, Miss Bingham's one of the queens of what we call chant recall. So we might say macaroni cheese, everybody freeze, and get the children to pause what they're doing and be ready to listen and ready to learn. So it's those kind of simple instructions we need them to be ready for. Taking care of themselves, how are they getting on with putting on coats, how are they getting on with using cutlery. We will always help the children, but in that classroom there's 2 adults and 24, 25 children. So those who can take care of themselves will ultimately accelerate through into certain areas of learning quicker. And then play with the children. There's so much conversation at the moment about childhood and about technology and childhood, and we're a smartphone free school. We're proud of that. but we believe technology has a wonderful place in childhood. We also believe that playing with children and imaginations and stories and drawing and painting has an even better place in terms of development and childhood. And also little things like I was talking about before, take your child on a journey through conflict resolution this summer if you can. Try and beat them at a game of snakes and ladders. I remember, again, one of my children sitting under the table for quite a while when I beat her at snakes and ladders, but it was all part of the journey of trying to get her ready for school, and helping her through those big emotions and those big feelings and wanting something and not being able to have it. It's all part of what the big picture of school is about. So if it's often a question parents ask me, what can we do to get our little one ready? And there's a not comprehensive but hopefully helpful list of the kind of stuff you can be looking at this summer. But again, connect with us and talk to us over the next couple of Fridays with any questions around that. Here's an interesting one, compulsory school age. So we said before, children will start on that Thursday in September, the 10th, I think it was. That's when we aim for all children to start. That may not be possible for everybody. It may be that your child isn't quite ready. It may be that you feel your child's not ready. It may be that we feel your child's not ready. It may be we both feel your child's not ready. More often than not, they are. The vast majority of cases, they are. But some children have other stuff going on for them that we just have to be mindful of. Just because I say transition should take that many days doesn't mean that it's right for your child. And so our offer always at Lakeside is that everyone can have a personal timetable if we all agree it's what they need up until that term after their 5th birthday. That's called legal school age. So the example there, if your child turns 5 on the 12th of February, they don't have to attend school full time until the 1st of April. The caveat to all of that is, if a child starts full time after our transition window, we can't backtrack and put them on a part-time timetable. So during that first week, we'll be in conversations with you. We'll be monitoring, observing, talking with your child, working out whether they are school ready or whether they just need a little bit longer. And you'll be doing the same thing at home. Are they utterly exhausted and this is too much too soon because they've only just turned 4 a week ago and they're a really late summer born child and you'd like a bit longer, for example? We want to have those conversations with you. So if we need to have it, we'll start to have those conversations on the Friday and the Monday of transition. If you need to have it, you can have it whenever you want to have it with us. Like I say, I don't want to scare people with that. Most of you, the vast majority of you, have signed up for your kid to start school in September full time, and they will. They 100% will. But for some of you, it may be that we open those conversations together. This one is really important. We're a face-to-face school. I put this slide up all the time at parent events. We love working with you, with your child. The straight maths is a full-time child at school attends for 14% of the whole year, 1-4. 86% of the time they're not at school. They're in bed. It's the weekend, it's the school holidays, but they aren't with us. And so we've got a great amount of work to do to get them ready for secondary school. That's what we're all about here, is starting that 7-year journey to get them ready. And we want to do that in partnership with you. So we'll talk to you regularly. The teachers, the teaching partners are there on the door, on the gate every day, ready to have conversations with you. We open school up regularly for you to come in and join us. We send emails, we send weekly newsletters. We've got a really informed website where the theme maps and the reading roads are for you. We're not an app school. We don't have a Tapestry, for example, where you can log in and see your child's individual progress. That can be a bit different for people when they've come out of nursery. But when you start to up the number of children and reduce the number of adults, maintaining those tools, we don't feel at Lakeside is the best use of adult time and resource. We'd rather be working as much as we can with your child in the room, and then we want to have those conversations with you and invite you to have those conversations with us. But anyone who knows Lakeside, or if you speak to parents who are established at Lakeside, I think we live up to this offer that we're here to talk about your child. Miss Bingham, you're a regular phone caller, aren't you? You like a phone call to parents. What kind of things might you ring parents up about to chat about?
Maybe to share something really positive that's gone on in their day. Maybe if a gran or grandfather is picked up, so I might ring their mum because, like, everybody loves hearing good things about themselves, right? I definitely do. If maybe they've bumped their head or something like that, I think it's important that parents need to know that sort of almost immediately. I'll give them a ring as well, and just to check in if I feel that the parent or the child needs a little bit of support, then I'll just give a little ring, offer some kind words and some advice, and just extend our offer that we have here at Lakeside.
And I think that's part of it. We really don't like email ding-dongs at Lakeside. We're such a pick the phone up and let's talk. It's your child we're talking about. Tell me something more important on this planet to you than your child. And we really value that. So we want to be in conversation with you, and we prioritize that here. As Mrs. Francis mentioned, we'll run workshops for you. We'll get you in to help you on this journey. Some of you will have done it many times before with your older children. Some of you have never done this, and have no idea what's about to come in reality, apart from when you went to school when you were 4. And so we want to take you on that journey with us. There's parent workshops for you. We'll get you in and help you learn about what phonics is and what Mr. Moss keeps talking about when he says phonics. It's how we learn to read, and we'll get those building blocks put together for you guys. We'll show you reading lessons and maths lessons and help you learn what that looks like. We do meet the teacher sessions. We'll invite you in September for a session to come and meet these guys in person again and hear more about the curriculum. We do our assemblies and our plays. We have art mornings and afternoons. We get mystery readers in and invite you to come and be a 3 o'clock reader to the children. They don't know who it's going to be, and it turns up, it's my mum. Fantastic. We ask you to join us on school trips. At the end of every 1 term, autumn 1, spring 1, summer 1, we open school up so that you can come at 2:40 and look at your children's books, look in their classroom, spend a bit of time in their environment with them. And in the 2 terms, you have your parents' evenings where you can come in and the books are out there for you as well, and the chance to connect and talk to the teacher. So we're forever evolving and thinking of new ways for you to be there on that partnership journey with us.
Sorry, can I just jump in 1 second?
Go for it.
I just wanted to also mention our Proud Clouds. I don't know if we mentioned them later on, because they're really important, because they give us a little bit of information about what you'd like to celebrate from home, and we can bring it into school and celebrate them at school too. So I've had lots of children bring in Proud Clouds this year because they've passed their stage 1 swimming, or because they've ridden their bike for the first time or something like that, and it's really special to us to be able to share that in school with your classmates as well. So it's a really nice thing to have, and we'll talk to you more about those Proud Clouds later on.
Nice. Little bits of logistics. These slides will be up on the website. These are kind of just, we wanted to put some bits for you to refer back to as you get ready over the summer. Think about change of underwear. Think about safeguarding things. We'll never just release your child if so-and-so turns up and it's your next door neighbour and they're picking up today. We'd never release your child for all of the obvious reasons that we don't know that you've authorised it. So those little bits of preparation around making sure we're always informed at schools, drop emails in, leave voicemails, whatever you need to do just to keep us in the loop of what's happening with you guys. This is always a lovely topic and a fun one to talk about, but when children get poorly with contagious things, particularly sickness and diarrhea, we tend to have quarantine and isolation periods, similar to lots of preschools and nurseries. Our take on it is 48 hours. If we're all quite sure it's a bug, what we don't want is to be spreading bugs around the classroom. That's not great for everyone, and your child will pick up some bugs in the autumn because it's a new environment with new people and new germs. So just monitor that one with us. What we do recognise is if they were a bit anxious and they felt a bit sick because of that, that's not a contagious thing that needs quarantining for 48 hours. So again, it all comes down to good conversations. We need to make sure we've got all the right information about your child. So make sure you're filling in the paperwork. We know things like allergies and dietary requirements. If your child's ever on medication we have to administer at school, we can support with that. There's forms to fill in and we've got trained medical staff that can help. Book bags are something we want in school every day. We want to know that you're reading with your child and we're reading with your child at every given opportunity. Reading is absolutely the cornerstone to academic progress at this stage. What we try and say is you don't need to send a 4-year-old in with a rucksack that's bigger than them. The book bag and a drinks bottle is pretty much enough, and a lunchbox if you're going to choose packed lunches. So don't go investing in great big backpacks over the summer because there's not a lot to put in them. I could do with the year 6s not having big backpacks as well, because I don't know what they're bringing in. At the end of the day, you need to bring in your book and bring in your lunch and bring in your drink are the 3 things. There's a uniform page on our website which hopefully gives you a breakdown, a nice visual for what our uniform policy is. Please name everything. Don't think you've got carried away when you're naming stuff, because you probably haven't. You really need to name everything. The little ones put stuff down. It's not their fault. But when we pick it up, we need to know whose it is so we can get it back to them. I wouldn't want for you guys to spend money on lovely new uniform and it not come home after day 1 because it wasn't named. If it's named, 99% of the time, it always comes back out of the system and it ends up back with you. If it's not named, it ends up in a big tub in the foyer, and it's pretty tricky for you guys to get it back. We're a school that says wear PE kit on PE days. Once we're up and running with your children's PE lessons, the teachers will let you know those days. It saves getting changed. A lot of lost learning time can happen with getting changed. In the PE curriculum, it doesn't mention putting your shoes on the right feet or putting on a pair of shorts independently. That's not what PE is for. So we like to get on with it at Lakeside. Trainers with Velcro is a good idea in reception, and we're a tie your long hair up for health and safety reasons. We don't want them getting caught up in DT and science experiments, and we also don't want to create an environment where head lice are more likely to jump around. So hair tied up is always one of our approaches here. Some helpful bits, like I say, just to come back to. Right, next steps. I think we're nearly at the end. We're going to see you on Friday for your stay and play session. Really looking forward to that one. It's one of the highlights of my year is seeing the little ones come in and spend time in the garden. I'm so sorry in advance if your child is one of the ones who has so much fun they don't want to leave, and I make them cry at the end when I say it's all over. That happens every year, and it's a good sign. We'll write to you on Tuesday next week, and we'll let you know which class you're in, and RT or not RT, RB or RF. And then we'll let you know the arrangements for Friday the 3rd of July. We'll come back for those 2 sessions. That'll all be in that separate letter. What we also offer at this stage is if you would like some time, once you know if it's Miss Bingham or Mrs. Francis, your child has something that you want to talk to them about. I already know there's some children with some complex stuff on the go in their little lives. Then we really want to have those conversations. These guys are ready to pick the phone up and have a conversation with you. Just email us or catch them at your drop-off session next Friday and just arrange some time on the phone so that there's nothing Miss Bingham or Mrs. Francis want more than to feel prepared for your little one. So these conversations, if you want them, are mega important. If you think we've got it, then we've got it. Complete admission forms and hand into the office prior to the 1st of September. Bring them with you over the next couple of sessions. Those admission paperwork, make sure that they're filled in and we've got all the information we need. Who are your primary contact people? What's the dietary requirements, etc., etc. There's something called Pupil Premium. All children in the reception and Key Stage 1, reception year 1 and year 2, are entitled to a free school meal under current government guidelines. They're just changing that. In year 3, 4, 5 and 6, that can continue for any family who's registered for universal credit. And there's an online tool where you can check. I'll put it on one of the letters we send out before the summer. School get additional funding for children whose parents receive universal credit. So it's really important, even if you're going to get a universal infant free school meal anyway, like all reception year 1 and year 2 children do, if you're eligible for universal credit, then let us know through that form and we'll get more funding to support your child in school. And you can register up to the age of 5 for free milk still, like you'll get at nursery. So there's a couple of things there that we'll get out to you if we haven't already that you can register for. I think that's it. I'm going to stop sharing a second and make me reappear, I think, or all of us reappear. I'm not sure what you can see now.
Mr. Moss, we've had a quick question in the chat box asking when they can register their children for wraparound care. So I didn't know if you had any more information on that.
There's a couple of things you can't do until your child has started. So we want your child, we need your child registered and on our system before there's a couple of things we can do. One of them is wraparound care and the other is booking school meals. We tried desperately hard to make all that happen on day 1. Wraparound care can be available just as soon as we've got all of that sorted. So certainly by the end of the first week, we'll have your child registered on the system. We managed to get it all done on day 1 last year, and the office team worked remarkably hard to turn that around, and we'll aim to do the same. But I think I can say with confidence by that Friday, we'll have you logged fully on the system, which means that you can go through the process of booking wraparound care and go through the process of booking those school meals. Unfortunately, our hands are tied until such point as September the 1st has rolled by and children for the new academic year can be registered. Dave, I hope that answers the question. I've got a hand up from Claire. Did you want to jump in, Claire?
Hi, yeah, you talked about parent pay, and I know there's also the teachers to parent thing. Are we still going to be using both of those in next year, or are we going to
we've got a couple of meetings over the summer with the providers of some of those things just to get our head round where we're moving. We are transitioning to try and make it as simple for parents as possible. As things stand today, there'll be parent pay to book your school meals, and there'll be school money to get your booking on things like parents' evening, clubs, and wraparound care. So yes is the short answer, Claire. Today it's two things, but we're trying to get it right and reduce the kind of apps and things you need in school. You'd think by now someone would have invented one really good app that does everything parents need to run a school, but I promise you, I have to run three to be a parent of a kid at my kid's school, and it is just tricky, but we're working on it. I hope that helps.
We've had another thing. So is it possible to get physical copies? I think it's of the application for the wraparound care. On Friday, are we able to give any out to parents, physical copies of them?
We can give you physical copies of the school application forms. We'll have them all printed out and ready to go, so that just in case you haven't got one, or we haven't emailed it, or whatever hasn't happened, we can have the physical paper forms that you fill in for us, so your child, we get all the right information for them to be a pupil at school. We'll have all them ready to take away. Nothing can happen with wraparound care. We don't do paper copies for booking on wraparound care and at all. It's all a digital system that can only be accessed once your child is on our roll from the 1st of September. But we'll write out to you with loads of information about that. I've got the chat open here. We might be moving to trainers. Yeah, that's a piece of work that I put a school parent survey out. I do it every year, and something I was interested in is, should little growing feet that we asked to be active throughout the school day be in trainers rather than school shoes? The parent voice was overwhelmingly in favour of that. So in the last couple of weeks of the year, I'm going to pull all that together and write out. But I will be saying, oh, this is hot off the press. I haven't told the current parents this yet. I will be saying that black trainers can be part of our uniform for September. If you want to put your child in school, formal leather school shoes or patent shoes, you absolutely can. But what I'll be saying is the school policy will include black trainers, and I'll include some pictures on that. I always think pictures are helpful around what I mean and what would be acceptable in terms of a trainer that would go with the uniform but also support those little feet. What's the capacity for wraparound care? It is so popular. We took wraparound care on in May half term and opened it as something called Extend. And it has been overwhelmingly popular, which I love, because every single penny parents spend at it goes back into the children's school, and we want to provide a really good quality value for money service for parents. So it's worked really well. I guess the simplest answer is there isn't capacity, because it's our club. We can extend it and extend it and extend it as much as we want to. So my vision for September is we're going to spread it across the two halls. There'll be one in the main hall, one in the small hall, and I'll be employing more staff so that I can meet the demand of the school. The whole point of it was, you guys, if you're working parents, can we be helpful to you, not make it hard for you? And so hopefully, Louise, my answer to that in September is, I don't know, 150 children. I don't know. I'm making up numbers, but the answer is, whatever the demand is, we're going to do our best to offer supply. Cool. It's gone quiet in the chat box. What do we reckon? Oh, you're welcome. What we do then, I think we'll leave it there. People need to go and do their stretches and get ready for the football later. I need to get out my very hot office. I will download this recording. I'll pop it on the website. If you know people that couldn't make it because we changed the venue last minute and put it online, etc., then just reassure them that all the information's there. I'll put the slides there as well. We will be with you on Friday. Just come and ask questions. I've blocked my timetable out, so I'll be out to see every group and come and introduce myself again to you guys. Come and say hi. Miss Bingham will be there. Mrs. Francis will be there. Isabel may even turn up and come and see us. Who knows? But we're in for a really good couple of transition events. And thank you so much for your time this evening. I'm excited. I hope you are too. We will leave it there for now. Have a
Miss
lovely
Francis
night.
are definitely excited. We talk about it every day, Mr. Moss.
Oh yeah.
Fab. Right. Take care, folks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
you.
Thanks all.
How do I stop recording, team? Gordon? Found it.